Oh man, God almighty, man. Well, all right. Okay. I haven't picked this up in a while, as you can tell. Uh, I had a couple gigs this weekend, and I I had two gigs on Saturday. First one was at the fairgrounds. First was at the fairgrounds with Triple Wide, both with Triple Wide, and the second was at Casita for a celebration of life for Jim Skinner, who was a big fan of our band. He's a big fan of music in general, and He worked with I met him through David, the drummer, David Daniels, and he was always there, smiling, and man, that dude had a great smile, great personality. Anyway, they had a celebration of life because he passed away early this year. It was a sad. It was yeah. Anyway, lost a few people this year that I've known that I know. But anyway, it was a great celebration. There was some good music played, and it's the way you want to go out. It's the way you want to be remembered. But I played the 6-string. Well, I took my 6 with me to the fairground, and it was rainy, kind of a rainy, misty thing. It felt good. The weather, I mean, the temperature was perfect for me, and I can't stand being hot. But with the mist and all that, it was really damp. We played under a shelter, but it was still, the wind was blowing. And I ended up just playing one bass because I changed strings on both my basses. I took the jazz bass right here and the Peavey, and they both have fresh strings on them. And I'm like, this weather is going to kill these strings. I ended up putting this back in the case, just playing the 6. I'm playing the 4, the Fender, and that was enough. But I said all that to say that I haven't played this bass in a while, especially since I've got the PhD, since I got the fretless. Thing weighs like the 3 times what that fretless weighs, and dealing with shoulder issues and all this stuff. Let me do an adjustment on my microphone. That probably sounds a little bit better, maybe a little too loud, but we'll deal with it. Anyway, I was going to play it, but I didn't. And anyway, today I decided, you know what? I'm going to give it some love because it's still one of my favorite basses, man. I've had this bass for 23 years. The Peavey Cirrus. I'm going to put this around here. 6-string. I'll put it in that camera because you can see a little bit better. It's a walnut body, Wenge top, walnut neck. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the fretboard is. It's not Faro or however you pronounce that. I don't think it is. Pretty sure it's not because of the way the coloring in it. Well, I ordered it. I should know. You'd think I would, but I ordered it 23 years ago. This is back when Peavey had a custom shop where you can spec your bass out. I mean, you only had so many options, but you can spec it the way you want it. They would do different combinations and everything, and this is what I got. It's a Cirrus. A lot of you guys out there know that the Cirrus is a sweet instrument. It is a lot of cats slept on them, man, but the ones who got them, they know, they don't sell them very often. Anyway, so I was in there just looping a little bit, doing some looping and messing around with it, trying to get my fingers used to getting back on it and everything. So I just wanted to talk about it a little bit and talk about that. I did play at the second gig we played. I took the Fender again and I took the PhD. I think that I will do it next in this series of my instruments and why I play them and all that good stuff. Did a couple of them already. You guys have been following me. You can see them. Didn't talk very much about them. I didn't talk about them at all in the jazz bass or the Mustang. But I think I'll come back and revisit those again too. I still haven't figured out how I can get these two to play without being weird. Yeah, I use Labella Super Steps on this bass. 128 to a 29. I think that's a 29. Super light gauge. I just love these strings. I love these strings, man. I went through, 23 years of playing this bass. I've tried several different things. I started out with the actual Peavey strings, who I don't know who makes Peavey strings or did make them. They were decent. They were nice. I liked them, but they were hard to find, and I liked the gauge. They were a 125 on a B string. But then I went to I think I started playing elixirs. Yeah, I started playing elixirs on this. And I like those, all the strings I've ever played on this bass, I really like. The elixirs were people who know about elixirs, and they last forever. They're expensive, but they last forever. I mean, I would change some strings. I mean, I played hard. That's when I was playing with Neo Fusion, and, we were gigging 3-4 times a week in all kinds of different situations, and the strings just wouldn't die. But then Elixir stopped making a 6-string set. You had to get a 4-string set and then buy a B string and a C string. And I'm like, yeah, it was whatever, so then I'm not sure who it was. I was reading one of the bass players, and I thought it was Jimmy Haslett, but I don't think so. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was Jimmy Haslett. Anyway, I read an article, and they said somebody was using Super Steps, and I'd heard about them. I said, let me give these things a try. I've never looked back. Never looked back. And what I like about them is they got the exposed core that goes across the bridge here. I know this light is, kind of showing shadows, and you really can't tell, really. But if I stand up, maybe you can see that. The core of the string is exposed, and it runs across the saddles, across the bridge saddle pieces, and I can get really low action, super low action, and they ring out. I mean, they have that, the tone. I like them. I like them. I like them. Anyway, so that's the Peavey. This is the Peavey. I spec'd it out the way that I did because I knew that it was going to be the only bass that I would be taking to a gig. Probably I wanted a bass that I could just take, and it does everything that I needed, that I was playing at the time. And Neo Fusion, you guys, some of y'all remember that band. We were a funk cover band, so we played a lot. But we were a funk cover band. We played all this funk stuff, right? But we also played a lot of other things in between. anywhere from Southern rock to more poppy things and stuff. And this bass covered all the bases, covered all of that. And that's what I expected out for. Is the walnut body is really punchy, but it still has that warm quality. I roll the tone controls and all that stuff are very active. It's got an 18-volt system in it, so it's really quiet. And yeah, so that's what I got it for. And I love it. I've had several people trying to buy it off of me, and I'm like, man, I'm not selling my bass. Leave me alone. I'm not selling it. I got away from selling instruments a while ago. People have heard this story, and I had a 77 P bass, 77 Fender P that I bought in 79, and it was brand new. Brought it in from not Absolute Music. God, what's the name of that music store? Oh man, in Springfield, Ohio. It was so long ago that the music store was actually in the mall. It was the last time you seen that. Anyway, it was in 79, and I paid $800 for it with a hard shell case, and I carried it with me wherever. And I ended up selling that bass over in Germany. I ended up selling it in Germany for $800 in 85. And that's before the price of these Fenders and stuff like that started going through the roof, and it was an amazing instrument. I wish I still kick myself every time I tell that story, I'd be selling that bass, man. And you guys are in the know, y'all that are in the know what that thing is worth now. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't sell anymore. I don't sell instruments anymore. Or I try not to. But yeah, there it is. There's the Fender there. That was the Fender. This is the Peavey Cirrus 1998. So yeah, let's see. This is, 23 years. 23 years I've had this bass, and I haven't done anything to it. I lowered I changed the action on it because when I went to a lower string, so I raised up the action just a little bit. But other than that, I have not touched a truss rod. 23 years, I've never had to do anything other than change the battery in it. It's a good piece of wood. Definitely a good instrument. Anyway, that's it. When I go I'm going to do another, I'll probably talk about it when I do the PhD, but I want to say more about the celebration of life for Jim Skinner that we did at Casita. I definitely want to say more about that. This video is already getting a little long now. So I wanted to I'll just do one dedicated to that, because that was a very emotional, very, as you can imagine, celebration. And there was some good music played, Triple Y did that too with a bunch of other friends. Thank you, Will and Jess, for showing up. And it was pretty, I know there's video. There's got to be video of that. There was a lot of cameras out and stuff, so I'm going to try to see if I can scrounge up some of the footage from that, and maybe I can share that with you. We did I Shall Be Released at the end, and yeah, there were some tears flowing. Tears of joy and sadness. And with that said, you guys, I want y'all to take care of yourselves. Love one another. Do me a solid. Hit the love button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Throw a comment in, and I would be greatly appreciative of that. It helps out the channel. Definitely does. Now, guys, take care of yourselves. Love one another. Be safe. And I'll talk at you later. Peace.